Hey there, guys. I am here with independent wrestler Duncan Mitchell Avecilla. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to get on here. Is there anything you'd like to say before we get started? Sorry.
Man, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be having a nice little conversation. Happy to get my face out there. Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. Great to have you on here. First question, how did you get into wrestling?
How I got into wrestling. So I was fresh out of the Air Force. I was working a job at Lakewood Amphitheater in Atlanta, Georgia. One of the people I worked with had a connect in pro wrestling. Now, I'd always wanted to be a pro wrestler ever since I was a little kid. Like my first interaction with pro wrestling, where more so a pro wrestler, was Ernest the Cat Miller. I used to train at an MMA gym with him when I was a little kid, and I remember seeing him for the first time, just having my dad introduce us. I was like, "Hey, I want to wrestle you." He's like, "Kid, you don't want to wrestle me." I goaded him into it. He gave me the best equivalent of just like a wrestler playing wrestler with a little kid. Um, Years later, I'd really finally decided like that was what I wanted to do. Like I loved pro wrestling. Wanted and still do very much, and I am wanted to be a pro wrestler. And I asked my boss at the time, I'm like, hey, so I know you have this contact in pro wrestling. Uh, I'm not asking you to pull any favors for me, but I would like to know where I need to start to do this successfully. He hit me up the next day. He's like, all right. So I spoke to him. He said you can train either at the then Power Factory, now known as the Nightmare Factory, or you could go to the WWA 4 in Atlanta. He called me 30 minutes later. He's like, I'm being told that it probably would be a better idea to start at the Power Factory. So I contacted QT Marshall. We sat down, we had a conversation. He gave me the rundown of everything to expect in pro wrestling. Next thing you know, I'm training, and not long after that, I'm on the road getting reps, trying to accomplish my dream.
Great, yeah. And kind of a side question, who was your first match?
My first match, I want to say it. Yeah, I remember. I remember my first match. It was a tag team match. My tag team partner was All Beef, Tyler Franks, and my opponents were Sean Christopher and the Ripper Trey Shaw.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah,
And also thank you for your service in the Air Force as well.
no problem. Happy to serve. Was happy to serve.
Yes, sir. All right. Your second question is going to be, what is your dream match?
Gosh, like there's a lot of guys out there that you obviously you see them either out on the indies or out on TV doing their thing, and it's like, man, I would love to get the chance to tie up with them. If I could pick one, um, it might be a tie between either Gunther or Buddy Matthews.
Two great talents, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, love everything that they do. Been a huge fan of both of them. I would love to have the honor to just step in the ring with either of those two. Like if I had to pick a wrestler, it's a toss up between those two.
Oh yeah, and I could just tell in your work that you and Buddy Matthews, I think, have very good similar styles.
Yeah, I've modeled it. I'm not ashamed to say it. I've modeled a lot of what I do after Buddy. Like,
Not a bad person to model after, definitely. All right, the third question is going to be, what is your favorite match of your career so far?
that that's a tough one, but I think last year I had a bull rope match with Matt Sexcells at Classic City Wrestling. I'm not sure if the footage for that match ever wound up getting released, but I would say that just given the overall antics and physicality of that match, that might be probably my favorite singles match
Yeah.
I've ever had in my career. Just because, like, between just beating the crap out of each other, being soaked in beer, and being in front of that crowd that was just coming unglued from start to finish. I think that would probably be my favorite match of my career so far.
Yeah, great, great. All right, that's my last question. But before we get out of here, do you have any social medias, merch shops, or upcoming shows? Where can the fans find you?
So over these next 4 days, the fans can find me Friday night at Platinum Championship Wrestling in Conyers, Georgia. I will be in Augusta, Georgia for the debuting show of Next Level Pro Wrestling. And on Monday, if I see you there, I see you there. It's a sold out show, but if you bump into me, please say hi. I'm going to be at Classic City Wrestling in Athens, Georgia at the 40 Watt Club. And as for social media, you can follow me on Instagram. That's going to be Duncan Av98. You can find me on Twitter/X as the Evolve DMA. And if you happen to want to find me on Facebook, Duncan Avecilla.
All right. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on here with me as well.
And I'm grateful that you had me on today, man. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah. I'll see you guys all on the next one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.